Greetings and welcome back, everybody. Give this another shot. I've had like 3 tries of getting this video out. First, the webcam went out, and then for some reason it stopped recording 2 different other times. Well, actually, the webcam worked, but I had no sound, and then the webcam went all the way out on the next try, and then I was getting intermittent video. So, loads of fun. Hopefully, this comes out decent. I'm going to do a little bit more about trip planning for your loop. Um, I have over 20 years over the road truck driving experience, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of that experience in planning my trip. Mainly, uh, as you know, these are the general areas you want to be during certain seasons. So I would go, or I should say, what I'm doing is I'm going through certain states and figuring out exactly where I want to visit. Keeping an eye on weather and everything else. You might need to leave up to a week, if not more, ahead of schedule to get somewhere if you really want to make a event a of any type. Um, like these would be nice to get to next year's. You've got these rendezvous out in Alabama. It might take you a little extra time to get there because of weather, mechanical breakdowns, or any other kind of delays. So you always want to give yourselves a little bit of time. And then when it comes to figuring out exactly where you want to go, you've got the beautiful internet nowadays. And the way most of these internets are, you can go to the visitor guide for any of the states and find things you might want to do in those areas. Uh, all the way around, you know, interesting places to go. Uh, you've got the Keys there in South Florida. This one doesn't show quite as much. The main thing I'm looking at for Florida, Bud and Mary's, is a sport fishing charter service. They do have docking available up to a 45-foot length and 4.5-foot draft. So pretty much all the boats, most of the boats doing the loop can dock there. The downfall is there is no liveaboard vessels docked, so no, you can't stay on your boat. They do have accommodations of their own that you can rent, but I'm also sure there's other marinas you can stop at if you want to do a sport fishing trip with somebody like this. My thing, I want to land a swordfish. I'd like to land tuna. Heck, if I land something like that, that's a whole lot of food to be able to go into the freezer. Uh, Georgia, you've got all of this type of things. The Georgia coast, pull it up. They go over things you can do in Georgia, different locations. Uh, you got forts, lighthouses, some trails, museums, all of it listed on the websites. You've got South Carolina. So you've got all these different things you can go through. Don't particularly like how their website's set up with a full-sized map in the middle so you can't scroll down easy. Um, you got seafood. Their seafood festival that is uh, here's when they're going, and they're almost year round. So you could do some of these things. So basically, with the amount of information on the internet nowadays, it would not be difficult to be able to plan well in advance. And you've got events on the Great Loop Cruisers Association, which like I said before, I strongly suggest becoming a member here. You've got a whole bunch of different things you can go through. A lot of experienced loopers on there that could tell you some really nice places to anchor up, or things close to marinas to be able to go and visit, museums and things like that. So that's what I strongly suggest doing. That's what I'm going to be. That's what I've been doing, getting an idea of what I'm looking at, and try not to plan too many stops and too much time. Where you, or I should say, don't plan too many things to do at each stop, because you might overload yourself and have to rush through things. You might not be able to hit everything on the stop. You might have to come back years later, or if you do another loop. Give yourself plenty of time. Prime example that I could think off the top of my head is up here in Maryland, Maryland area and stuff. Can't think of how close we would be to the Smithsonian, but just to tour the Smithsonian Institute, all the museums, all the exhibits, you're looking well over a week just for that one location. And I'm sure you could, on a lot of these forts, lighthouses, you're probably looking at a half day to a day just to see that. So don't plan on hitting 2 or 3 of those sites in a day. You're really not going to be able to get a real comprehensive, or more to the point, you won't be able to get a strong feel for the area. You won't be able to see all of the fort. You'll be rushing and you'll feel rushed. And personally, that's not the way I'd want to go and tour historic monuments and sightsee. I don't want to rush. I will be taking my time at every one of my stops that I plan on taking time. Most of it, I'll probably be biking around the compounds. But that's what I've got going now. I'm coming up into the busy season for work. Not sure how much more I'm going to be posting up on this stuff. Probably going to be holding up until April, May of next year. I'm going to seriously get into looking at my boat options, and I'll probably start doing a lot more posts at that time, unless somebody puts some comments in for things that they'd like my opinion on, or anything along those lines. But I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. I hope you have a pleasant day. Goodbye, all.